Hi, this is Jeff Curto, and welcome to episode number 46 of Camera Position, a podcast about the creative side of photography. I'd like to welcome the pretty large number of new subscribers. I'm glad you're out there, and I've noticed a bit of a spike recently in the downloads and the new subscriptions. So thanks for being here. Thanks for having the confidence in what we're doing here at Camera Position to subscribe, and I hope you tell a few friends about Camera Position and what you're finding here and finding useful and hopefully inspirational information on Camera Position. I want to spend a couple of minutes here at the beginning of this episode talking about an interesting opportunity for anybody who is reasonably close to Miami, Florida. This coming week, March 15th through 18th, Miami is hosting the annual Society for Photographic Education Conference. SPE, the Society for Photographic Education, is exactly what it sounds like it is, the organization that services and supports the photographic education community primarily at the higher education level. And the SPE conference is certainly one of the most interesting and informative conferences that I get to go to, that I have been to, and I attended every year. In fact, this year I'm attending it and presenting at it, which I am extremely excited about. I am presenting a talk entitled Teaching Your Students, Teaching the World, Podcasting in Photographic Education. And oddly, I won't actually be talking about camera position. I'll be talking a little bit more about, briefly about my History of Photography podcast, which I know some of you are listening to as well because you've told me that. But I podcast my History of Photography class from College of DuPage. I will primarily, though, be talking to my colleagues about podcasting, about how these professional photographers and professional educators have remarkable things to say. And what I'm aiming at is trying to get a larger number of podcasters talking about these kinds of things that we're talking about here on Camera Position, things related to not necessarily the technical aspects of photography, but more the kinds of inner things, that those things that compel us to make photographs and compel us to love photography as a medium. So my hope is that within a year or so, 6 months maybe, we'll have some podcasts out there from some folks who I think you would be really interested to hear from, because I think they have a lot of really interesting things to say. So that's my mission over the next weekend while I'm in Miami, Florida. And of course, I'm not all that unexcited about going to Miami as well, because it'll be a lot warmer than it's been in Chicago, although we had kind of a nice spring-like day here in the Chicago area just today. For anyone who is really reasonably close to Miami, this is an experience of attending at least a day of the SPE conference that you might want to take the opportunity to do. Even if you're not a member of SPE, there are day rates for non-members to attend this conference, and there are amazing speakers, terrific presentations, a terrific trade fair, and just an awful lot of really interesting camaraderie with some of the finest photographers in the United States. So I would encourage anybody who is within, maybe a couple of hours of Miami to take a trip Friday, Saturday down to Miami at the Radisson Hotel and attend at least a little bit of the Society for Photographic Education Conference. If you want to learn a little bit more, the SPE website is spenational.org, and I'll put a link to that on the Camera Position blog and right here in the podcast in the enhanced part of the podcast. So another aspect about this SPE conference that I'm feverishly preparing for and getting very excited to be about to attend is the idea of who all I get to see there. Now, obviously, since I've been attending this conference for many, many years, I get to see lots of old friends, and that's always fun. But I also get to meet a lot of new people. Also, a terrific opportunity to rub shoulders with a group of people who are all interested in photography. And it is always an occasion to bring a portfolio of photographs because this is one of those few places, one of those rare places where literally everybody you see is in love with photography, is a huge fan of the medium, and will always take a few minutes to take a look at your book. Take a look at what you've got in the box. What is in that portfolio that you are toting around with you? So, again, I would really encourage people to take a look at the opportunity to go to the Society for Photographic Education conference in Miami, Florida, at the Radisson Miami Beach. And if you do happen to come and you happen to be there on Friday in the morning, my presentation is on Friday morning at 9 o'clock. And please come and say hi. I will certainly be looking for anybody who knows what this podcasting medium can do and the way in which it can engender tremendous ideas and creativity and all kinds of great stuff. So please say hello if you happen to be in Miami this next weekend. Well, I know that in previous episodes of Camera Position, we've talked about how important it is to get your work out in front of people, especially to get it out in front of people who are not your immediate family. You know, those folks who are more or less compelled by birth or by law, or in some cases both, to say nice things about your work and compliment you in some way. Rather, it's important to get your work in front of people who are either your peers, folks who are out there trying to do the same sorts of things that you're trying to do, or just as importantly, people who are out there who are what I would call the gatekeepers, the folks who are in charge of putting photographic work out in front of people, publishers, gallerists, people who are in charge of those kinds of exhibition spaces and publication spaces that help get work in front of a larger audience. And so I want to take a few minutes here in this episode of Camera Position to talk about somebody who can help you with this idea of getting your work in front of other people. And her name is Mary Virginia Swanson. Now, that name may ring a bell to some of you. Some of you may know about Mary Virginia as a remarkable photographic consultant. And you may also have seen that for the last several weeks, a couple of 3 months maybe, I have had a link to her blog on the cameraposition.com blog page, which is called Marketing Photos with Mary Virginia Swanson. And the web URL for it is marketingphotos.wordpress.com. Now, the primary advantage right away for you in terms of what's on this blog is that Swan, and golly, if you've met Mary Virginia Swanson for more than about 10 minutes, she is somebody that you call Swan. I've known her for quite some time, since 1983, but pretty much everybody I know who knows her calls her Swan or Swanee. But Mary Virginia Swanson is on her blog providing a remarkable service in that she is out there telling us about all of the places where we can go to submit work to some of those gatekeepers and have those people take a look at our work and provide us with some feedback. Now, the feedback might be just your pictures coming back in an envelope, but the feedback might also allow you to attend a portfolio review or have an exhibition. So the idea here is that what Swan is putting on her blog is opportunity for us as creative individuals to get our work out there in front of people. And one of the things that she's doing to do that is kind of to telling us where are the opportunities, and she's kind of got her finger on the pulse of all of those possibilities of places that we can take our work and show it to other people. One of the things that she is a huge proponent of, and I am too, is the portfolio review. I think we've talked about this a little bit in past episodes of Camera Position as well. A formal portfolio review that allows you to get your work in front of a noted professional of some sort, and have a 20-minute time slot where you can make your best case for your work and get some feedback for that work, and accomplish a number of different things. There are all sorts of different things that one can accomplish at a portfolio review. Everything from getting some feedback to seeing what kinds of exhibition opportunities might exist for this work, to finding publication opportunities. Really a lot of different things you can do with a portfolio review. Now, one of the other parts of Swan's existence out there in the world is that she is a remarkable marketing consultant for photographers, and exclusively for photographers, really working primarily with people who are interested in getting their work in front of a broader, larger audience. So, to that end, she frequently presents a number of seminars around the country. And because Swan will be in Miami for the aforementioned SPE conference, she is doing one of these seminars in Miami on Sunday, really after the conference is over, and it is open to anyone. You do not have to be a member of SPE, you don't have to be signed up for the conference, and it is available to you for a really reasonable fee, based on the amount of information you'll walk away from this seminar with. So this is Sunday, March 18th from 1 to 5 in the afternoon in downtown Miami at the Radisson Miami Beach. And it is a $65 fee to attend. You don't need to be a part of SPE. You can be anybody who is within driving distance of Miami Beach. The seminar is entitled Finding Your Audience, an Introduction to Marketing Your Photographs. If you are within even 2 hours of Miami, Florida, it is well worth your time to get yourself in front of this woman for a few hours there on a Sunday afternoon and learn some things about how to market your photographs and get your photographs in front of a larger audience. And I'm not just saying this because Swan is somebody that I consider a dear friend, but rather because she is that good. She is that perceptive and that inventive in ways of thinking about how to get your work in front of people. If for many or varied reasons you are not within 2 hours of Miami, I would also encourage you to take a look at Mary Virginia Swanson's website, which is mvswanson.com, because on that website, she not only has a few handouts from previous seminars that are available for free download, but she also has access on that website to a book that she publishes. And the book is really a terrific thing, and it's actually taken quite a leap forward and in terms of its content. It is now called The Business of Photography, Principles and Practices. And I really can't think of anybody who is interested in putting their photography out there in front of a bigger audience and finding some new things to talk to people about in photography that wouldn't find something useful in this book. Let me just run down the table of contents here. Introducing your work to professionals in the fine art market, insights into the gallery and museum world, bringing your work to market, the business of your photography, fundraising for your personal photographic projects, granting reproduction rights to your photographs, publishing a book of your photographs, essential online and print resources for photographers, and it is a fairly comprehensive piece of work, and for the amount of information that is crammed into it, a low price of $45. So I would encourage you to take a look at Swan's website, at Mary Virginia Swanson's photo marketing book, as well as if you have any opportunity at any point to attend one of her seminars, I would strongly recommend it. She has certainly helped me a great deal in looking at my work in different ways and putting my work in front of people who can make a difference in helping me along. Now, with all of that stuff about getting your work out in front of other people and seeking opinions from others and trying to market your photographs and presenting your work to the fine art audience, I'd like to sort of take a divergent path here for a couple of minutes and say that really the only person you need to please with your photography is yourself. I ran across this quotation from Ralph Steiner. Steiner, a great photographer born before the turn of the century and died in 1986. And I just love this quote, so let me give it to you here. Eventually, I discovered for myself the utterly simple prescription for creativity. Be intensely yourself. Don't try to be outstanding. Don't try to be a success. Don't try to do pictures for others to look at. Just please yourself. And a little bit later on, he said, if I were to teach, I wouldn't teach a course in photography. I'd teach a course called What Matters. Now, I find that really intriguing because it goes back to the things that I've been saying all along here in camera position and to my students in the classroom and to myself as a photographer, that ultimately we cannot try to match our photographs to the marketplace. We cannot try to match our photographs to the gallery space. We cannot try to match our photographs to the wants and desires of others whose opinions we seek. What we can do is simply look inside of ourselves and find who it is that we are. As Steiner just said, find out what matters. What matters? Going right back to those basic ideas about who are you, what do you care about, what are you passionate about, what are you most interested in? And if that passion is your children, photograph them. If that passion is the zoo, photograph it. It matters not where you find that passion. What matters is that you get out there and express it and take it by the horns and wrestle it. Do everything you can do to get at the essence of that thing that you are passionate about. And really that, I think, is the measure of the success of a photographer. And again, if we look at all of the great photographers, pick any photographer that you really admire, whose work you think is truly intriguing. That work really comes from deep within inside them. It comes from a deep commitment to their own beliefs, philosophical, spiritual, life beliefs, those beliefs that contain their own personal credo, their own personal ideas about what it is that they think matters in this world. So again, if you feel like the world is passing you by, if you feel like looking at some contemporary photography leaves you kind of cold, I know it does for me. I understand it, but I just am not terribly fond of it. That the work that you do has to matter to you in the same way that the work that these other folks are doing matters to them. And ultimately, those ideas of success, if you want them, will come to you. And ultimately, maybe the person you need to please first is yourself, and second is your mom or your spouse or your significant other or your child. So make some photographs of the things that matter to you, and let that shutter release button press down on the things that are the most important to you in this world. And ultimately, with that, you'll make photographs that have significance. You'll make photographs that have weight and power and importance to not only you, but to others, because those things are the universal. They are the things that everyone cares about and loves. Well, that's pretty much it for this episode of Camera Position. In the next episode, I really want to spend some time looking at some images that I've found that I think are really interesting and see if we can develop some relationships between these different photographers and find out what they're up to. So thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate those new subscribers who are here. And I hope that you stay around for a little while and continue listening to Camera Position, a podcast about the creative side of photography. Camera Position is a proud member of the Photocast Network, your photo resource in the potosphere. photocastnetwork.com